So I'm doing this video because someone asked me, what role do neural pathways play in tapping into the version of you that you want to manifest? Okay, so patterns don't just live in the mind, they live in the body. Thoughts that have been repeated for years, like I'm not safe, I'm not enough, or nothing works out for me, they don't just disappear because you want something new. They've been reinforced by the brain, the nervous system, and your emotional memory. Now, this is where neural pathways come in. They're not just mental habits, they are physical structures that influence what version of reality you tune into and what identity you live from. Neural pathways are the brain's communication, like highways. They're part of your central nervous system and they form through repetition. Every time you think a thought, feel an emotion, or engage in a behavior, a specific cluster of neurons fire. And with repetition, those neurons wire together. So neurons that fire together, wire together. Think of it like a trail in the forest. Walk it enough and it becomes the path of least resistance. So if you've spent years thinking I'm not lovable, I always mess things up, or life never works out for me, your brain has reinforced those circuits. They're fast, automatic, and efficient, not because they're true, but because they are familiar. This is how unconscious programming runs the show, even when your conscious mind wants something different. And here's where it gets deeper. The default mode network, or DMN, or demon, or ego, is a network in your brain that becomes active when you're not focused externally. It's like your mind's background narrator. And its job is to construct a consistent sense of self. The DMN pulls from the most dominant neural pathways to do this. So if your internal wiring is built on fear, scarcity, or shame, the DMN integrates that and forms an identity around it. That identity filters your entire reality. You don't just think you're not enough, you feel it, expect it, and unconsciously create situations to confirm it. So when people say you manifest from your identity, this is what they're talking about. But your brain isn't operating alone. It's wired into your entire nervous system, which functions as the electrical infrastructure of your entire being. It carries emotional memory, energetic charge, and the physiological imprints of every experience you've ever had. When you are stuck in a stress state, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, your system emits a frequency. That frequency becomes your emotional baseline. And here's the thing. It determines which thoughts you attract, which behaviors you default to, and which version of reality you tune into. Because the nervous system doesn't just regulate, it broadcasts. And what it broadcasts, the quantum field mirrors back. This is what they mean when they say, raise your frequency. It's the nervous system. So if your nervous system is dysregulated, you're tuned to a version of you that's surviving, not thriving. You do not manifest from a wish. You manifest from a regulated, coherent internal state. That's how you align with the version of yourself that already exists in the field. The one who's calm, clear, empowered, fulfilled. This is why nervous system work is the very foundation of transformation. When you regulate your system through breathwork, somatic tools, or nervous system coaching, you shift out of survival and into safety. And from there, the real wiring begins. You stop reinforcing the old loops. you begin to respond instead of react. You choose new thoughts, new behaviors, new emotional patterns, and the brain adapts. New neural pathways form, the DMN starts integrating those, and your identity begins to evolve. And once your identity does shift, your entire frequency shifts. This is how you collapse the gap between who you've been and who you came here to be. So if you're ready to rewire your nervous system and build an identity that aligns with the life you're actually here to live, message me to join my 4-week nervous system coaching container and drop a comment. What's one old thought you're finally ready to let go of?